Welcome into this carrier update presented by Powerfleet. I'm Tony Mulvey, joined with Donnie Gilbert. Donnie, kind of a perfect segue into this first chart, talking about lower diesel prices.
So diesel fuel prices are falling. We're down to 277 basically, down from about 285, just over 285, 286. So here we've seen about a 10-cent drop, but it's taken about 10 days. So we're falling at about a penny a day. So we keep this speed up. We'll be down to back to where we were last year in about 2 years. But no, we are falling. It is a good sign right now. We did see the rack diesel fuel, the rack wholesale price here in green, bounce back up 10 cents, but it did not affect the actual retail prices falling. I was kind of afraid that when they saw this, they'd bounce it back up, but maybe they're also trying to figure out that high fuel prices are helping run this country into a recession. So if they give us a little bit of relief, put some money back in our pockets, then maybe they can also help straighten that out as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about it before, right? They don't want to change their prices at the retail stores when their rack price is so volatile. But I mean, really, other than that little jump, we've been down or flat for really, I mean, look at the past
Coming up
month.
a month.
Yeah, so
hopefully they'll give us some relief, and that will also, like I say, as we head into the third quarter right now, which eventually the fourth quarter and Christmas shopping. If we can get some relief here for several months, then maybe people have a little bit extra money to spend in Christmas and won't completely ruin the 2022 year. All right, next chart here. We talked about this a little bit already here. We see volumes here. We're kind of building back up for the 4th of July weekend. Of course, we showed them down. That's because we run a 7-day rolling average. But what concerns me is 4th to the 5th, you see it's already going down as well. So that would kind of tell me up here that that volumes are dropping slightly. But the real big story is the drop in rejection rates. That dropped from, almost 8.25% down to 7.20% here. We're heading in the wrong direction right now, but there's a lot of things that we talked about that build up to this. A lot of your mega carriers are going to be sitting there accepting freight just to try to keep their trucks moving.
Yeah.
So that's going to affect that, but are they going to be able to get all this freight? No, they're not. So some of this will pop back in and go back out to the spot market. Depending on how time sensitive it is, will help decide what kind of rates those loads are going to run at. But do expect a drop in freight on the spot market, which is going to there's going to be too much capacity on the spot market, so rates will start moving in that direction. We see this drop, and we saw how our NTI followed this pretty closely, so expect the NTI to follow this as well.
yeah, it may not be as drastic of a drop as this.
Right.
I mean, we're talking, 100 basis points in a day and a half or 2 days?
A little bit slower, but I think it's going to tell us it's going to go on down.
Yeah, and then you have the demand factor too, where demand's kind of eating away. Demand drives prices, less demand, prices go lower.
And the only next big turn in the market right now is going to be the fourth quarter rush.
Awesome. Well, thank you for this update, Donnie. We'll be sure to check in with you again a little later. Right now, we'll take a look at the last 24 hours in freight with our market recap.